Thank you. The Duluth Sport Show at the DECC has become a popular one-stop shop for all things related to the outdoors. Well, this year, many vendors are seeing major success due to the unusually warm winter. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp was at the sports show and brings us more.
Anglers are eager to get this year's fishing season started. A clear tell, the crowd of people shopping for boats.
We're looking at early spring, which means big sales, a lot of people buying boats, a lot of people on the water.
But while looking for the latest boats may be fun, buying one is a different story.
There's a lot of people that do holdovers, or what we call last year's production boats.
Lund's holdover boats can still fare a considerable price. However, the vendor has been able to sell up to 24 boats at the show each year. The reason? Their close relationships with loan companies.
Whether it's North Shore Bank or any of the local establishments around the Twin Ports, everybody's here to help each other out.
While some anglers toured the show looking at ways to get themselves on the water, others looked at guided fishing trips.
We're right at about 600 per day for the guide trip. Last year was about 550, so it's up a little bit from last year.
Even with the price increase, Ryan Fain still gets a quarter of his customers to sign up at the show, many of who are anxious to get out on the water a little bit early this year.
People still got to fish. They enjoy their free time, and people are still work hard and enjoy to take a guided fishing trip.
And vendors working at the Duluth Sport Show are still excited to help anglers and outdoor sports fans get outside as early as possible. In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
Cara, thank you. Now, the sports show is happening through Sunday. For the full schedule and list of vendors, visit our website at northernnewsnow.com. Well, today we